Now, the First Alert Forecast with meteorologist Ryan Hill.
Quite slick looking downtown as we continue with our unsettled weather picture, at least on the east side of KOTA territory. Right now, it's 51 degrees with an east-southeast wind at 14 miles per hour. You see these numbers right here? Actually, I'm looking for dew point right there, 50 degrees. Your relative humidity is this number divided by that number times 100%. That gives you this number right here, this percentage right there. That's how close to completely condensed the air is. And that's one of those things that we measure for the ability of fog to form or dew to form on the ground. That's why we call it the dew point. So anyway, we've got ourselves some pretty heavy rain going through Ziebach County, even a little bit of a strong updraft right here. It looked like it's getting a little oomph from some upper level energy, but out behind that, the sky above is on the clear side. There's this layer of warm air aloft along this boundary that's kind of still hanging in our area, that when this fog forms, it gets trapped up against the mountains, trapped in that under that warm air aloft. But then after that, winds are supposed to change around. We get this next wave of action coming in out of Idaho and Montana into northwestern Wyoming. That should make its way into the afternoon hours for your folks out there in Sheridan. Right now, not too bad on visibility. However, right up here on the hill, our camera is not seeing things too well. I'm looking over in our weather center, and that's exactly what I'm seeing. Absolutely nada, because of lots and lots of low clouds, and those are supposed to lower and thicken, at least in Custer and in the hills. We could see some of that as we make our way 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. I think is where it's looking the worst here in Rapid City. It does kind of sink in elevation, but the foothills and nearest to the mountains, nearest to the Black Hills seems to be, and wherever you have some extra surplus moisture, that's where it will fog up the most. But then we'll be clear as a bell sky-wise and fog-wise as we move these clouds out of here. We do get that impulse to work its way through here. Sheridan, even down close to Rapid City as we move to Wednesday, a little bit more widespread for our area. But yeah, after that, we talk about clearing and warming. A little bit of an impulse as we make our way towards your Thursday. See that right there? Boom, gone. But then we watch a ridge of high pressure and then a big trough. Severe weather is possible with that. Other than that, we're talking about some very nice warm conditions. It'll feel downright tropical once these temperatures warm up. We get past that mark, that 75 that you see on your Thursday. We go from this kind of dismal kind of 40s, 50s to even 60s tomorrow. To take a look at that 3-day outlook, Northern Hills and Northeast Wyoming, 60s, 70s, even knocking on the door of 80s in the Sheridan area. And then on the 7-day forecast, here's where things get interesting. We not only have some heat to talk about, especially by Sunday and Monday, but our dew points reach 60, maybe 65. So it's a little bit of a muggy factor as you welcome in some thunderstorms. Some of those could be on the severe side. Adrian?